The struggle to remain conscious was becoming more difficult. Kim Lee leaned forward, waving his hand before my face. I think he realized that I was now in a daze from the medications. Well, that's the end of the story, he said. Like I told you, it has an ending, but it still leaves you wondering. I can see that your eyes are still open, but they are no longer following my movements. I hope you were able to hang in there until the end. The surgical team is on the way. It won't be long now. I will be praying for you, my friend, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon. The sounds in the room started to change and I could hear many voices. Min-ho and Dr. Jin appeared by my bedside. Dr. Jin was dressed in surgical scrubs and he seemed to be getting ready for transferring me to the place where my critical surgery would take place. He started by flashing a small light into my eyes while moving my eyelids out of the way with his finger. Min-ho watching intently. Dr. Jin nodded to her and said, "It is time." Immediately Min-ho reverted back to the cold professional I met on our first encounter. She started calling out orders to the other staff members in the room, directing each step. The nursing staff around me started to disconnect some of the tubes and wires connected to me, while some other men in surgical scrubs unlocked the wheels on my bed and on the bed of the large swine. There was a section of wires on my bed with a plug end, and as they lined up the 2 hospital beds to transport us, they connected that plug to a harness coming from the bed of the pig. Once the connection was made, I began to feel a throbbing sensation in the back of my head. It seemed the pace of the activities around me were picking up as they started rushing me down a long hallway. I was actually starting to feel sensations as we moved along. I could feel the motion of the bed rolling down the hall and even took notice that one of the wheels wobbled as we went. There were a series of lights embedded in the ceiling of the hallway, and as I would pass under each one, the room would become momentarily brighter and then go dark. Each time the light dimmed, it remained darker longer until no light returned. Strangely, it felt as if my eyes were still open. The sensation of movement of the bed and motion now changed. The sensation now more felt as if I was floating on a raft in the ocean, swaying side to side with the movement of the waves. The darkness broke way to small dots of light like stars in a dark night sky. There was an illumination developing out of the corner of my eye that resembled a full moon behind some light clouds. What is this new sensation? Extreme cold. My jaw started chattering uncontrollably and I could start to see my breath as I exhaled. I felt intense pain in my hands and feet and my limbs were growing numb. I am starting to shiver all over and can feel my body tensing up, and then suddenly, it relaxed. The pain, discomfort, and the extreme cold left me in an instant. It was then that I realized that everything I just experienced was an illusion. Or at best, a wild drug-induced dream. But it felt like the most real experience that I had come to know in a very long time. I am starting to lose my fight for consciousness as I gave in and released it to my uncertain destiny.